welcome to season 2, episode number 12 of
What's Brewing Sis?
I'm Shelly.
I'm Bianca.
And I'm Deanna, and here we come together to serve the brew.
We are serving in more ways.
That is definitely an understatement.
Currently an understatement. What a day, what a difference a day makes. Like, I feel like my life has completely changed.
Right.
For the better.
For the better, absolutely. If I thought I was busy before, watch out now. I am definitely busy now. It's always something to do. But as you guys may or may not know, we opened our doors to our very first location of our cafe. We are open. It's like one day we were closed or they hadn't opened yet. And then the next day we were open. So how are you guys feeling and doing and all that good stuff?
We kind of talked about it in the last podcast, but I was like, I don't know if it's setting yet. I don't know if it's real. Like pinch me. So it's been very exciting. A lot of, family support, friend support, people are messaging right now. I'm coming tomorrow. I'm like, we're not there. So yeah, it's been exciting.
Yeah, so currently, for anyone who doesn't know, we are a current weekend cafe, but it's given us a chance to kind of open slowly and make sure that our recipes are A1, make sure that we find out who our customers are. We kind of learn more about the business, kind of while the business is open. But I think that's only going to allow us to be showstoppers, in the end. And location number 2.
How y'all feel?
I feel great. I feel absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I like the flow of how things are going thus far with the weekend opening, but we definitely got some big plans for a grand opening soon. So maybe that'll make it sink in and make it real when we have all the pomp and circumstance behind the official grand opening.
I think
more to come.
I think so. We'll be grand opening and reopening and soft opening and all those good openings. But if you have time and can find yourself to the Water Tower Place, 835 North Michigan in Chicago. It's a landmark downtown. It's a beautiful building. You can shop there all day and, drink cafe cocoa latte all night. See us in our space and catch the vibe. It's a beautiful place. It's been referred to as cute. I think it's cute and classy and chic. I feel like if I was a customer walking into the door, I would definitely look the part. It reminds me of like Gossip Girls or Sex and the City type place to kind of go and chill and hang with friends. So I love our cafe. So we are back with a brand new episode of What's Brewing Sis podcast. Anything else that I missed saying in regards to the cafe that we want to make sure that everybody knows? Visit us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Friday
hours.
Friday and Saturday we're 11 to 8. Sunday 12 to 6. Stop on in.
We have something for everyone, not just coffee. We have coffee, tea, hot cocoa, lemonade, sweet tea, hot tea, plus our pastries. And we'll be adding more to the menu and featuring items as we go along. So just come enjoy. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, Bianca said a few times over the weekend, come catch the vibe or pull up on me. Pull up on me. Yes, if you are near or not near and you just need to get close, could pull up on us. We would definitely love to see everybody there. So without
thanks to everybody who came last weekend. We don't
for sure.
I'm going to show those pictures and post those pictures in so everybody can see, the support of our family has been unstoppable. They even went into other stores and told people to come into our
cafe. They've been promoting us at different stores and getting cars. And I'm like, what? What's happening?
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Came in with a tip on what we can do to kind of like expand our brand and expand our business so that does not go unnoticed. It's very appreciative. And a lot of those things we're going to do, we're going to implement. So thank you, everybody that came out over the weekend. And I hear some people are coming back just because. So we might be the new Cheers of the Water Tower place. Okay,
right?
All
Where
right.
everybody knows your name.
Where everybody knows your name.
We did get a couple people asking if we sold alcoholic beverages. It's like, no, guys, we don't.
You know, this
We don't have any alcohol.
We're creating a fun place for everybody to come chill out. So I'm not surprised that someone said that. Without further ado, we definitely want to get this show started. So we're back to doing a new episode with Latte Letters. So we can't do a Latte Letters show without Kim. So Kim will be back, or Kim is here today to, we're going to bring her back. Everybody had fun with her last time. So get in the comments. We know these letters are juicy and fun. Participate, and yeah, we'll get to it. But let's bring Kim up. Kim Perdue is back for a new episode of What's Brewing Sis podcast. Kim is a professional life coach who gives great advice on how to maneuver through relationships. She is big on self-reflection and allowing clients to see themselves as something other than a victim. We can't do a Latte Letter show without Kim. So grab your popcorn, maybe a glass of wine, responsibly, and kick back and enjoy the live comments. Enjoy this new episode of What's Brewing Sis podcast.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome
back.
How are you?
Come on, cheers. I was I literally started singing the song and then yeah, I love it.
Yes, I was singing it for some reason the Golden Girls in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's a different sitcom, but it still fits, Thank you.
Still fits. Yes. So
we are so glad to have you back on our show. What have you been up to since you've been on, or when you were last on?
Yeah, well, thank you all for having me on again. I love talking to you ladies. And look, y'all have the audience going. These Latte Letters are juicy. So thank you for letting me be a part. So I have continued, to coach and speaking. And actually, I sing too. So I'm a part of a group or a band, I should say. And we did an Aretha tribute over the weekend. So that was
that's exciting.
Blast. We had a Saturday Sunday show, and people love Aretha.
Yes.
Y'all know you can feel her love and her pain. Mm-hmm. So them people now, especially that Sunday crowd, because that's that church crowd.
Yeah.
And Aretha was from the church. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've had going on.
That is very cool. I love Aretha. She is definitely one artist that I grew up listening. So that's awesome. Where were you guys, Kim?
We were at the Madison Street Theater. So this one was over out west. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. They normally do they do musical theater there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what it's for. Yeah. But we came and, brought our band and turned it out,
Well, we are fans of live music, so that is our jam.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
We have to check that out. So keep us posted and definitely let us know when you'll be having that show again, because we want to promote it and then also make sure that we attend.
The band leader will love that. She'll be so happy. Awesome. So thank you. Me too.
So like we do always, we're going to start off with some icebreakers and then we're going to get into these Latte Letters. So our first icebreaker is describe yourself using one word.
One word.
Who wants to take that one first?
I'll go first. I'll say resilient.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, I'll say resilient.
Love that. Deanna, you want to go next?
You stole my word. I had this exercise before, and that was the word I used. So let me think. The second one. I'll say busy.
That's a good word to use right now. I'll go next, and then Kim, we'll let you go last so you can leave that. I'm going to say optimistic, or I'm going to say optimistic. I'm always hopeful. I'm always, positive, swing, so I'm going to say optimistic. What about you, Kim?
Aware.
Aware.
That's how I would describe myself. Especially during this time in my life. I'm very intentional about a lot of stuff, but my self-awareness I have to say aware because one word, but you know what? It's helped me to stay out of things that's not going down the path I want to go. It helps me know who I can and can't talk to in a given moment because I know what triggers me. I know what triggers me to be upset, and I know what triggers me to be happy. So I need to get into a good space. I know I'm aware enough of myself to be able to do that. So aware.
I love that.
That's a good one.
I definitely think when life gets busy and things get hectic, you can overlook yourself, in those times.
Yeah.
I think being aware is an awesome one self word to describe yourself.
Yeah. Yep. That's mine.
Right. Next up, do you consider yourself a romantic?
I would say yes and no.
Okay.
It's like I'm definitely like I like the cute stuff, but I'm not necessarily into it at the same time. Like I like the idea of it.
Do you give it or receive it?
Oh, I'm very much into receiving it, but giving it, I'm like, like let's take a gondola ride. That looks sweet.
I love it.
I don't know.
I love that.
Although I do want to take a gondola ride, but
Yeah.
yeah, I want to do that in Italy and like have the guy in the striped shirt do the thing. So maybe I'm a little romantic.
Okay. See, discovering something to do with myself. Deanna.
Sometimes. So I would say not all the time, but sometimes.
Okay.
Under
For
the right circumstances.
yes, for me, I am definitely more of a receiver of the romantic than to like plan it. I know Bianca definitely called me out a couple weeks ago to be a little bit more like, do this. That would be so nice, So I'm surprised that she doesn't consider herself to be more of a romantic. But yes, I'm a romance. I love romance.
I am. I agree with all you ladies. I'm a romantic most of the time, but I'm mostly the receiver. So I do. I have to get intentional about giving it.
Yeah.
But you can only really do that if the guy is like the same. You know what I mean? Like he that. You know. But yeah, I eat it up. It's just like juice. Something. I'd be like, oh my God. Yeah, I'm that person. I'm not gonna lie.
I love to see, guys and girls too think outside of the box to do something to make somebody else smile. I think that's just so it's a beautiful thing, It's a beautiful
Y'all are challenging me with this question because I need to do better in that area. I do.
I think it depends on the partner. Like some people are, partners aren't into all the pomp and circumstance. Like, I don't know a lot of guys who receive flowers, but who knows? Guys might like flowers.
Guys like flowers.
They do.
Our guys definitely like flowers, and given that I worked for a company that sold flowers for several years, it was told to me like, you've never gotten me flowers and you work for
wow, that's real.
They enjoy being appreciated. They enjoy, and it doesn't really have to be flowers and chocolates, things that girls like, but it could be something that they like, the time and so
they like cologne and body wash and stuff.
They do anything really. Anything.
I definitely. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim.
No, I was just going to say that I'm very good at showing the appreciation. I down because I studied people, and because I'm so self-aware, it helps me be aware of other people and what they like and stuff like that. But I don't know if that would be considered romantic. Y'all got my mind going now, so I got to think about this.
So,
This is
like
good.
you, I'm very receptive to what people may like. And so I love, like, Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Okay.
So I love to give gifts, and I'll, like, pay attention throughout
Yeah.
the year. Somebody, my husband one year wanted a new laptop, but he didn't ask me for a laptop. So, like, when he got it, he was just so surprised. So yeah, I pay attention
Yeah.
when it comes to giving gifts.
Yeah.
You definitely do. You are a great gift giver.
Thank you.
All right. What is your favorite perfume?
I would say currently Gucci Guilty.
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah.
That smells good. Yeah.
But it changes.
You know, my favorites change a lot. Yeah. So right now I still like Versace Yellow Diamond, but yeah, it changes.
I love that one. And you introduced that one to me. My favorite is a company called Ombre Blends. I'll never forget the first time I smelled it. Someone literally just walked by me, and I've never asked, like, what do you have on? But this smell was so unique, and it was just so different and clean, and it just was very airy. But you guys, I normally I give like the small sample sizes so everybody can try one. It's the most beautiful scent I've ever smelled.
Oh, wow.
It's not overpowering. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice. I love those scents where like nobody knows where to go to get them. That sounds like one of those scents.
It is.
Yeah. I love Tom Ford Black Orchid. That's my favorite and has been for years. It's probably because it's so patchouli forward, and that I love it. So that's my staple favorite.
Okay. We out here smelling good and all those things. And then last icebreaker, what is your favorite cereal if you have a favorite cereal or your current favorite?
I'll say my current favorite is Honey Nut Cheerios. I could probably eat that every day.
I'm not a big cereal fan. Yeah, I probably couldn't even tell you the last time I ate cereal. So
that's okay.
I like
have a favorite.
Yeah, I like Special K vanilla and almonds.
That used to be my favorite. But Honey Nut Cheerios is also my favorite too.
Honey Nut Cheerios, gang.
Yeah.
I like Deanna, I have not had cereal in years, but when I used to smash cereal, Golden Grams all the way.
Okay.
Golden Gotcha.
Yeah, Golden Grams. Okay, Golden Grams.
It's crunchy. Got that crunch. And I gotta have the crunch. Yeah.
Yes, the cereal is one of those things. It's like it's become a pregnancy craving because I wasn't really into cereal beforehand, but years after, a lot of my pregnancy cravings have stuck with me, so it'll come and go.
Wow.
It's for cereal, but yeah, Honey Nut Cheerios is the thing. So I'll read that one. So letter 1, I do. I am 40 years old, and my fiance and I have been together for 16 years. He is the father of my 2 sons. Recently, he proposed, and he said he's ready to get married. He told me that he's never been in love like this with any other woman. We were in sheer bliss until a month later. After he asked me to marry him, a woman called me and told me that she's been dealing with my fiance for 10 years. When I confronted him, he confessed and apologized. He told me at the time that he started the affair, he was feeling low and he was having some issues with himself. I forgave him. Then 2 months later, I found out about another woman that he's been dealing with for many years as well. I had no idea about the side relationships. He's always been very attentive and present with me and our children. He suggested couples counseling. I don't really know who this guy is anymore. I'm trying to make it work, but it's painful and so hard to work past betrayal, lies, and deceit. What do you think I should do? Should I believe that he's a changed man and marry him? What say ye?
Run, Forrest, run. I mean, to me, that's difficult because you have all those years in, and you have children. They have a family.
Yeah.
I remember when we first talked about this. Before I saw it the way I saw it. But to add along with it, yeah, that's tough. But she just may need to realize she got a cheater. She could marry him, but she just needs to realize, go into it with an open mind to have an open marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I think if she stays with him, because I can imagine that's hard to walk away from.
Yeah.
She stayed with him all those years. She wants to be with this man. And I'm going to assume, I don't know all the information, but I assume he's doing something so wonderful to have kept her around that long and they not be married.
Yeah,
So,
she has to be being fulfilled in some way.
Yeah. So, yeah. She just may need to, understand he's going to be with other women. And I had a question. I know we can't answer it, but the other question I would ask too, the woman that came to her that said they had been dealing for 10 years, like, had he cut that off?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Yeah. So I think her first line of defense is to see who else he's in a relationship with before they get married.
Yeah. I know you mentioned one thing. You said, he just might be a cheater. So is that a thing? Like, are people just cheaters for life? Do they have their license to cheat?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of bad to say, but there are some people. In this case, we'll say the man in this. He needs to have more than one woman, and not just for sex. This other woman he was with for 10 years, that wasn't just for sex. That was a relationship. So he may prefer the different, more than one, I guess is what I'm saying. So, which really that's when you want to bring in the poly conversation, which is difficult to have when we get into the facts of, does he have the finances to take care of more than one woman? Does he have the emotional capacity to pour into more than one woman?
But also, is that something that she's willing to accept? Because it was unknown to her for all these years. So, like she said, I don't even know this person anymore. The person you thought you knew is not who, that was a I guess, kept representative for a while. But I would feel like everything that we built was based on a lie. So it would be hard for me to just accept the word, him saying, I'm a changed man and I want to marry you. It would definitely take more than that. But I don't know that I would have the gumption to try to make it work, even like for the sake of the kids, because I'm like, what does that really mean? I'm teaching my kids to be in a dysfunctional situation, or, let someone like just walk all over you. Because to me, like if those boundaries that were crossed were the deal breakers for her, then there's really nothing to talk about. I hope you are a changed man, but go be changed with somebody else.
Come on here.
Ooh.
I agree.
I think it's just so many variables to this. Like, one, what was your relationship 10 years ago? Were y'all actually a couple? Like, because we don't ask that question. We hear, oh, we've been together for 16 years, but what was the nature of your relationship 10 years ago? Were you actually a couple, or were you just hanging out? That's one. Two, although I can appreciate the fact that he was such a good liar this whole time, I really do appreciate. I hate a sloppy cheater. Like, fool me. Like, fool me all the way. Let me be like, dang, how could you do this? Like, but you just being all out with it is disrespectful in my opinion. But with that being said, you've been lying for 10 years, bro. I can't. I just can't even see how we get past that, because now not only have you broken my trust, I have been believing that you were the guy who I thought you were all of this time. And now all of a sudden you're not. It's like, well, what else don't I know? So I don't know if I would personally be able to ever get to the point of giving that person 100% trust. So if I know I can't give you 100% of my trust, it's no point in us being together. I hate to see couples where like they don't trust each other for anything and going through each other's phones and doing all these things. And it's like, well, if you don't trust that person, then why are y'all together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got that type of time.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
I think this, for me, it brings up that what you just said, Kim, about being aware. Like, you have to ask yourself that question, like, is this okay for me? And I think for some people it is okay, and that's why they do stay. Maybe she did find out about the 10-year relationship, and I would hope that it had ended. But you have to ask yourself, like, am I willing to be cheated on? And am I happy in that situation? I wouldn't be, of course. I couldn't. I sleep. Who wants to sleep with one eye open? I want to trust my mate and love my mate, but I also want that same respect back from my mate too. And I feel like if you can't do that, then nah, girl, get out. And I think if you're asking the question, like, should I stay or should I go, then you probably want to go.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think that's why we seek validation from other women to say, like, well, what would you do? Would you stay? Would you give him another chance? Would you give him another try? But I think she could just be with a serial cheater.
Or if she accepts the open marriage situation, is it open on both ends? Like, do she get to date other people? And I mean, so some people would be like, well, what's the point of even? But for some people, that's what works for them. So yeah, but I would gather to think that the man probably wouldn't be open to her being with other men, although he has other women,
Which is pretty selfish.
It is selfish. Yeah. But then is she going to want to do that because she's not a cheater?
Right.
So she probably.
It wouldn't be cheating if it was all fair. If it's like, it's not cheating if you agreed to open marriage.
Yeah, but I agree. What I'm saying though is she apparently doesn't want anyone outside of him. So that when we are focused and we're committed, and then now it's like, okay, well, hey, I'm with other people, you can be too. If that's not anything you've ever wanted to do, you're probably not just going to run out and do it.
Right.
It takes a mindset to do that. But also, if I were speaking with her, I would ask her, like, did you see any signs? I can't imagine, particularly, and the audience like this, but I'm going to be honest. Typically, men are not really good at covering cheating, right? So you mean for like over a decade, there was no sign? I was in a relationship and he was doing certain things that was questionable. And then I found out he had a whole other relationship with somebody else. So when he and I talked, I said, oh, this is why you did this. And this is why you told me don't come to this. Okay, so there were signs.
Yeah.
And for me, before I knew that he cheated, I knew I wasn't happy. Right? Because of his behavior. So that really was enough for me to walk away. I don't have to know all these other why, right? So I just can't. I don't know the situation, but I'm wondering, like, you didn't see no sign.
Yeah.
I would question too, like, what's his profession? So I knew a guy once upon a time who, to me, I would have felt like there's no time or space or opportunity for him to be with anybody else, because he would be literally like at my house the moment I got off work, and he would leave my house to go to work. So I'm like, I was definitely oblivious to the fact that he had a whole nother relationship, but he was messing with somebody at work. So
yes, if we not,
there's always that.
It was okay for her to only be with him at work. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, literally, they was messing around in the car at work and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I mean, that says a lot about you that was okay.
And she might
But
have had
eventually,
that. She may have had a whole, like, she may have had a,
no,
oh no.
eventually she didn't want to be the girl in the shadows that he was messing with at work. So she called me and, and
See, I don't like
she ended up
I
having a
don't
baby by him and all that type of stuff.
I don't like
So, but
it's not cool. It's like she's made all these decisions, and now that she's mad about her choice, now she finna pull you in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had that conversation
Right.
twice in my life, and the first one I was very young, so it was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to know. But then that second time, I'm like, nah, see, we're not gonna do this. Like, no, I am not the person that you're gonna get all the answers from. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I know. Just for the simple fact, like, hey, look, we're both women and we were both deceived in the situation, but look, I ain't got all the answers, so
Talk to him.
I'm not. Yeah, like it's not happening. So I think that conversation alone can be such a waste of time. Like, don't come to me because the person that you're gonna get the answers from is the person that's cheating, and you may not get the answers from him. So.
Yeah, and also that other woman doesn't even owe you a conversation.
She does not.
She does not owe you a conversation. She does not owe you an explanation unless she's like a friend of mine. Like if my man is cheating on me with somebody who's my friend, you got to catch these hands.
That's
but also like, like, but if you're like some random person, she don't owe me nothing.
Right.
Like she don't owe me a conversation. Right. She don't owe me anything. We don't even have to talk about it, sis. Like,
actually, you still with the band. Like, what you beefing with me for? Like,
yeah,
we might as well be friends if you're gonna still be laid up next to me.
Be like, oh, he at your house on Thursday. Okay, girl. Like, I just, yeah,
that can get messy.
Yeah,
for sure. What I don't hear often about as many people, and maybe it's it's just not spoken. But like a lot of people staying with people and knowing that they cheat. Do you think that that's a thing? Like, do people just stay? I know I'm being cheated on, and I'm just gonna stay because I love this person.
It happens.
I don't think it necessarily be because they love the person so much, but sometimes people feel like they stuck. They have their children. They want their family or the appearance of the family. They have financial restraints, whatever the case may be. They make it make sense in their mind. It's some people say stuff like, well, as soon as these kids turn 18, and they still be there after the kids gone, went to school and everything.
Got grandkids. Still will.
Some people do stay for love. They feel like, I love this person. I'd rather have a part of him than none of them. So there are some people who stay in the relationship with the man that's cheating, and they feel like, well, at least I'm the main chick. Like you hear main chick a lot. At least I'm the main chick. Whatever you do with them is whatever. But he gonna take care of home first. So there are a lot of people who, stay in the relationship because they feel like they're the top dog, and and he just out giving the other girls the scraps. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of reasons why people stay in those type of relationships, but you have to figure out if it works for you or not at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yikes.
All right, y'all ready for letter number 2?
Yes.
Letter number 2. Am I the side chick? I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years now. We live together and the relationship has been great. He's an amazing man and wonderful father. He gets his kids every other weekend and one day out of the week. The past weekend, I went with him to drop the kids off and no one was home. He says we have to wait here for their mom. He said we don't have to wait here for their mom. Let's go inside. That's the moment I found out that he has a key to her house. I feel like some boundaries have been crossed. I wasn't comfortable with this. Previously, she had changed her job situation and she needed to work overnight. She asked him to come over and stay the night with the kids. During the time, he also considered sacrificing one of his jobs to make the situation more manageable for them as parents. I understand that he's the father of the children, but there's no boundaries to what she can ask of my man. Just recently, they started doing a home based business as a team together. He feels like I shouldn't have an issue with any of this. His answer to everything is, I'm doing this for the well being of my children. I don't want to interfere with this relationship with his children or their mother, but this is interfering with our relationship. He's considering breaking up with me because of how I feel. I also explained to him that I also explained to him that what they're doing together makes me feel like they should be together instead of us. I don't feel like he's taking my feelings into consideration. Help me to understand if I'm out of line. I'm starting to feel like an extra.
Ooh,
Mm,
Aw.
that's a lot.
that sounds like my story was being read. I've
Really?
totally been in that exact situation.
Oh.
Mm.
Can you write
Exact
that
situation.
in?
And of course, the kids. The kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I say, because people do things for different reasons. There's on what is it? Put a ring on it this season. That's one of the issues between a couple.
Mhm.
He goes to the baby mama house, and she's his ex-wife, and he's over there. He keeps the kids and all that. And the girlfriend is like, that's inappropriate. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. Um, she may not be the side chick, but she is not a priority at all.
Mm-mm.
She's not even being considered.
Yeah.
Now, for me in my situation, he jumped back and forth. So when uh, he was there doing what she wanted, they were together. And then when she got on his nerves or the pressure got too much, then me and him was together.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I ended up finding out all of this, like the details years later. But I felt like this woman does. Like, I felt like the extra. I felt like I was not being considered. Now, I was younger when this happened. So now, me talking to Kim back then, I would have said, babe, if you want to see him, but you need to date other people. Like, you need to have a roster at this point because this is not your man. This is her
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Not to say they're sleeping together. In my case, they was belly slapping. Okay, they
Ooh.
but not necessarily in every case. But you have to be like, to me, it doesn't matter why you're doing what makes me uncomfortable. What matters for me is that I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
there is a lot happening here. There's just far too much happening in this scenario.
Mhm.
I'm okay with co-parents having a great relationship, meaning if she works overnight, he's taking care of the kids. But there has to be boundaries, and I think there's boundaries missing. And my real problem is the lack of boundaries. There are couples like The Rock, the wrestler slash
Yeah.
actor The Rock. His ex-wife is his manager, and they have a production company together, and they do these movies together. And every deal that he makes, she's a part of it. So even though they're divorced, they still work together. But he has another wife. He's remarried. So, like, certain things are okay, but there has to be boundaries. And if I'm your girl and I'm telling you I'm uncomfortable and your solution is to break up with me, then I shouldn't be with you.
Yeah.
Instead of you bringing me in and helping me to feel comfortable, and, saying, well, maybe me working with my ex isn't the best thing because it's making my girl uncomfortable. Let me do something different. You instead are like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and you need to figure it out. That means you're not making space for me in your life whatsoever. You're telling me that I need to pick up the little crumbs and be happy with the little crumbs while you're giving a whole slice of your life to your ex. Be with her.
Totally agree with that. I think the worst thing that you can do to anybody is have this open forum. Everybody gets to say what they want to say, But if I'm telling you I feel uncomfortable about something, your solution to it is just deal with it. I think that is definitely not, that ain't your guy. That ain't the guy. That lets me know you can't resolve this. Like, you just have put your foot down and you don't even want to hear my suggestion on what I'm saying that could possibly make the situation better. But then you don't want to do anything about it. You're like, this is what it is. We're gonna stick to that, and that's what it is gonna be. My feelings don't matter. Is all if I was her, what I would hear. Again, another very similar situation that I've been into, and what it creates, I think, or what it created for me, was this very uncomfortable feeling. Like, well, if I'm not appreciated, then I'm not gonna be here. Like, I'm gonna slow walk myself out of the situation because I need to go where I feel appreciated. And he's crossed a bunch of lines. To me, like, the one thing you don't do, like sleepovers, like, come on.
You don't do that. Bring the kids to your house.
Right.
That's like, what I would tell my ex. You can, keep your kids. You're a parent, but why you got to stay over there?
Right.
That's
not making sense to me. You got a crib. Y'all don't live together. They can come over there.
And so many questions like that, like, why you got to do this and why you got to do that. That, to me, to kind of go back to our last episode when we had our Latte Letters, it kind of lets me know that you can't take care of me. Like, you're not willing to take care and hold me down.
That's right.
And I think a lot of women may even start feeling like, well, if he can't hold me down, then why am I holding him down?
Right.
I would have to.
Yeah. I think in most cases, probably 99.9% of the time, it's plumb foolery. And if the situation was reversed, most men wouldn't put up with it for one day.
Not.
So I just be like, just hear what you're saying to me, then act like I'm saying it to you, and tell me how far it's gonna go. Not far at all. So let's just cut the foolery.
Yeah.
And I think that's in any relationship.
We tend as women to take more. Yeah, we take more, we wait, we are patient, we try to understand and work things out, but men don't have that type of tenacity. They'd be like, hell no.
We can learn from that. We can learn from it.
We can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just don't do it. Don't do it. And then definitely don't lie about doing it too. And it's not, to me, I almost feel like you're putting your kids in a worse situation, because now I have to argue with you. Now daddy upset and he upset with his girlfriend, but he getting along with mama. What do I think about as a kid? What do I think about how relationships and things get resolved when daddy can't keep it together? And it just looks bad. Why is daddy spending the night? Like, daddy got his own house. Why we can't go to daddy house?
Yeah, it's confusing. I think
it confuses them.
Yeah,
it makes them think it's hope that the parents will be back together.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful my parents didn't do that. They separated when I was 8, and when my dad moved out. He was there. He never even came over for dinner, and my mom was the cook. She cooked breakfast, lunch, and my mama from Mississippi. Okay, she been cooking full meals since 12 years old for her siblings.
I know that's right.
Guess what? My daddy had to figure out how to eat. This whole way he ain't used to. No. And when I tell you, I tell everybody I have 3 parents: my dad, mom, and my bonus mom. And everybody has their proper roles, which goes back to what y'all talking about those boundaries.
Yeah.
Co-parenting can work respectfully. It just has to be boundaries. That's all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if there's no boundaries, then we can because I'm the outsider. If I don't have the connection of a child, that's going to be there forever. So you already coming in kind of at a disadvantage. Kind of like,
healthy co-parenting is perfectly fine.
Yes.
I do love to see, healthy co-parents.
Yeah.
It might be at an event together with the kids and, everybody's fine. Or maybe it's a birthday celebration and, dad and his girlfriend is invited and mom and whoever she's with is invited and everyone's together. Oh, or the parents take the kids out for ice cream. It's okay to be a healthy co-parent, but spend a night, you bringing a spend a night bag? Nah, fam.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
No.
All right. We're ready for letter number 3?
Yes.
All that up? Okay. Letter number 3. Should the other woman attend the funeral?
Here we go.
Tina, shut up. Like,
Here we go.
I recently attended a funeral of a 70-plus-year-old friend of mine. There was an open mic segment allowing everyone to that wanted to come forward to come up and say memories about the deceased. There were accolades, especially about how he was such a good person and a faithful husband to his wife for over 30 years. The grieving widow sat in the front row, taking this and receiving hugs and kisses from everyone. The final person to approach the microphone was a stunning young woman carrying a blanket. Her words were, and I quote, "I will miss him most of all. He was my best friend and we spent every day together. But I will always have a part of him because this is his baby." That woman unfolded that blanket and a 2-month-old baby popped out. She held that baby up in the air like it was from the Lion King and announced the baby's name after the deceased. It was named after the deceased. You could hear a pin drop in that place. I think I held my breath until the pallbearers took the casket out of the church. My question, should the other woman come to the funeral, and does she have some sense of entitlement because she's grieving as well? After all, if she loved him and he loved her, she may be hurting just as much as the wife.
Can I just say, whoever wrote this, I hope is a writer, because it definitely sounds like a book. Like, I love how she described everything.
Yes.
Well, the short answer for me is, yeah, anybody can come to a funeral. Okay. So should the woman have come? Fine. Yeah, she can come. I don't think it's appropriate at all for her to have gotten on the mic and said anything.
Yeah.
At all. If you want to have some kind of conversation because you're trying to get some benefits, you know what I mean? Because you have this little baby, well, then you have that conversation privately. But to me, that was some, marking her territory type of foolishness. Like, y'all was spending every day together, so you didn't think to say to him, I need your wife to know this. We have a baby. You went 9 whole months pregnant. And you ain't think to be like, hey, you need to tell your wife or I'm going to call her. You going to wait till he... Come on now.
So you're dead and gone to come to the funeral.
Yeah. And you know what? She may have, I don't know the story, but she may have waited because that probably was the only time he would have allowed her to say anything public.
That's the point.
That ain't nobody stop her. But she made herself look terrible, like just not good. Doing
like a stank.
That's when
I'll say this about that. I've seen some very interesting things come across the mic at funerals. So any funeral that's of any close family member of mine that I have say so and how things are going to go down, there is no open mic session. Only folks allowed to speak will be those listed on the program. And everyone in attendance, the officiants will know. No. Don't let nobody slip you no piece of paper and say they got something to say. They want 2 minutes. No.
Because they will slip that
Not on the program. You don't get the mic because people get all kind of courage in the moment and get up there and start talking crazy, but not on my watch. Been to too many funerals with too much foolery. What y'all gonna do is sit down or get out.
Everybody enjoy the program because nobody else is included on this. Okay.
Right. If it ain't on the program, it ain't happening. Security. Get on the
security.
I know for sure. When I am dead and gone, at my funeral service, it will be a service where everybody can get up and speak, and not forever hold their peace. You get up there and talk, and I think that speaks on my character. Like, I think if you're the type of person that if you hear and you still hear that you're gonna have that type of program, you might want to make some changes in your life. So everybody,
yeah, but some people get up there. It don't even be about the deceased. Like, I done been at funerals where the person get on the mic and say, Mother Hubbard was a great mother. She was a praying woman, and all her grandkids is strung out on drugs. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself, because your grandma wouldn't want that for you. Like,
they'll try it.
This ain't the time or the place to call all the grandkids drug addicts. Go sit down.
Let me start my invite.
Right, we're not doing that.
Yes, that is crazy. For her to do that, you can't. If you are the side chick while living, you unfortunately are going to have to remain the side chick in the funeral service, because what are you going to get from the person in the casket at this point?
She just better hope he left some insurance money for this baby. Other than that, she a single mama.
Yeah.
She better,
All right. Now we're recording. Okay. So moral to that story, don't attend any funerals that you're not invited to.
Pretty much. Facts.
Or just sit in the back and be quiet. Don't get on the mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can grieve. You just don't be coming up there, breaking up and all that good stuff.
Because I know a fight had to break out, especially if they had kids. Grown kids too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure that didn't smooth over too easy.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point, too. Like, if the children don't know that they have a younger sibling, I think that's unfortunate. But I think it's kind of the deceased fault. Like, don't be having no affairs.
Right.
Yeah, I used to tease my father all the time, asking him, because I'm my father's only child. So I would always ask him, is there going to be some long lost sister or brother popping up at your funeral? And he always said no. And no, at his funeral, there was no unknown sibling coming up. And to this date, nobody has surfaced telling me they my sister or my brother. So I guess I guess he was telling the truth.
I was traumatized. My parents, who are still together, they kept it, well, for me at least, they kept me very sheltered. So a lot of this stuff is like, oh my God, I would die.
Okay.
I just have never had to deal with that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
no. But then I have had to deal with some of that kind of stuff, and it's traumatizing to somebody, that doesn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. But anyway, letter number 4. From a guy who wrote this letter in. My wife has cheated on me. How do I forgive her? When I say something about her cheating, she gets mad. It's been about 3 weeks now, and I haven't gotten over her cheating. I love my wife to death and my marriage, but I don't want to throw it away. What can I do? So this letter is written from a guy who's looking for help, advice.
Well, 3 weeks, that's not really that long ago that it happened. So I'm sure emotions are high on both sides. And when I say emotion, I mean, there may be some emotional insensitivity, some emotional sensitivity, during this time. But I think since he seems to want the marriage, I would ask her about counsel. And individual counseling. I think they should have it together and individually. But, because sometimes it's hard for a person to just say face to face why they cheated, particularly a woman. We usually don't get caught unless we want to get caught.
All right.
If she's going to cheat, y'all, I'm not advocating. Let me just say,
you're
not advocating for cheating, but it happens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, to me, I'm like, y'all need to be in some kind of counseling and therapy. Now, if she doesn't want that, because she may not, cheating could have been her outlet, her way out, her exit strategy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that needs to be a conversation with a professional though.
Yeah.
Because to me, him wanting to stay in the marriage does not mean he's forgiven her.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. And sometimes people believe because they're staying, that equals forgiving or forgiveness. And a lot of times it's not, because he bringing it up 3 weeks later, but there are some people like 10 years later are still bringing it up. So they really haven't forgiven them. They've just, like we were talking about earlier, sometimes people do stay for love, but that don't mean they like them or even trust them.
Yeah.
It's also not fair to hold something over the person who cheated head. Like if you're going to stay, be married. You can't hold that over their head. So that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To me.
Yeah. What you guys think?
I agree with the if he wants the marriage to, try counseling, and maybe out of that they'll be able to determine whether or not the marriage is salvageable or not. But I think 3 weeks, that's still fresh and new. So she also needs to be understanding that this is fresh and new for him, and she needs to check her insensitivity to that, and maybe, be more apologetic. Some people feel like, damn, I said I was sorry. Like, no, that doesn't mean instantly I'm over it because you said you sorry or because you over it. You have to give me the opportunity to process my emotions and, show me that you're willing to regain my trust. And therapy is probably, a good way to figure out whether this relationship is worth fighting for or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's a lot of variables. Like, I know it's hard for someone to say why they cheated, but there needs to be some, before you can forgive, you have to understand what you're forgiving. Did she cheat because she was bored? Did she cheat because she's unhappy with you and she's been telling you for months on end that she's unhappy with you? Or did she just get drunk and decide to do something? Like, what is it that I'm actually forgiving? Before you could say I forgive you, and let's work past it and move on. But if you know in your heart of hearts, you are not that person that can forgive and forget, or not even forget, but forgive and let it be forgiven, then move on. There's no point of being with somebody and you're gonna bring it up 3 years later, like, yeah, and that time you cheated on me. Either you forgiven it or you haven't. So if you know in your heart of hearts you can't do that, there ain't no point of being with that person.
Yeah. And I mean, from his perspective and writing the letter, he said he loves his wife to death and he loves his marriage. So he seems to be willing to try to work it out. I think it's pretty big of anybody who's willing to accept what somebody did to them and hope that it could be resolved and salvaged. I don't know many men who would probably do that. I think when cheated on, they're probably more hurt because just facts, women do get away with it a lot more than men do. But I thought that was pretty big of him to say, like, look, this is a relationship that I am willing to fight for. I think, like, to your point, Bianca, he does have to see, what exactly are you fighting for? Are you fighting for somebody who even wants to be with you?
Right.
That's
the thing.
That's why I think that's why I think he's answering too quickly that he wants to keep his marriage.
Yeah.
And to me, that's concerning. To me, he wants to brush through this thing very quickly and move on with their lives, which how we do one thing is how we do everything. So even to Bianca's point, it's like, okay, you may have been brushing through some other things that I've discussed with you in this marriage, right? I don't know any, particularly men, that their first line of defense is going to be, you know what, I love you, let's just figure it out. That's some underlining, maybe, I don't know, some self-esteem issues. Yeah. I don't know if it's, I don't like to deal with stuff issues.
Or he cheating anyway. He cheating too. He like, well, I cheated first.
You doing it?
Yeah, but most men, just like we were talking about with the other situation, they're okay with cheating, but they're not too fond of you doing it or the woman doing it. So yeah, I'm concerned that he's so after 3 weeks is like, I just love her and I just want it to work. As you said, Bianca, it's like, what are you forgiving?
Right.
That's a big thing when a woman who's married and she allows a man to enter her body, another man. Most women don't just do that for no reason,
Right.
So I don't know. They need to go talk to a professional.
Yeah, they need some further conversation and discovery needs to be made before we can get to the forgiveness part. Like, yeah, some people are quick to forgive, but what are you forgiving? Because what happens if it comes up again? Because you haven't fully addressed what the real issues are. People don't necessarily cheat just because, like, I woke up on a Sunday and today's the day. Like, what's the purpose of this?
But like Kim said, most people are not also like forthcoming with the reason, and sometimes I think they don't necessarily even, they're not self-aware to say, well, this is the reason why, which is where that professional help come in to unpack and uncover the root cause of the issue and all that. So but the willingness to say, I don't want to just walk away is maybe just a starting point. But I think, when they do all that unpacking and uncovering, they could discover mutually that really the relationship isn't the best for either person, or they could grow closer. But yeah, it has to start with the willingness to address issues and do the work and all that.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think what's true about all of the letters, or maybe the majority of them, is that I think when people bring cheating in relationships, if you're not the party that's cheating, I think it definitely it puts the non-cheater in a position where it's like, now I have to check myself because of something that you did to me. Now I have to unpack what do I do as a person? Am I got cheated on and I'm going to stay type of person? Am I going to now become a cheater because I feel like everybody cheat? Am I going to, be traumatized by this and not want to be with anybody? And I think that's the sucky part about cheating. You could be the person who's not, doing the bad thing, and now you have to do some inner searching on your own.
Absolutely.
Like, now you're dealing with issues that you didn't even know you had.
Right. As the person that's cheated on you, like, well, what did I do wrong? Or like, what could I have done to prevent, like, you start putting that person on a journey for no reason. And all the time it's because you have some insecurity in yourself is the reason why you cheated, and it had nothing to do with your partner.
For sure. Which I think would work out for the benefit of the person who got cheated on. Like, if you got cheated on, like, there's this is the optimist in me, but there is, like, you could do something about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to now, make you this bad person because that person showed their character. No, it could help you to be more aware when in relationships. You know what I'm saying? It could help you to be to know you, like the importance of knowing yourself, like you said in our last episode. The importance of knowing yourself, I think, is so important because it can truly stop a cheater or someone who's harming you or not treating you right in any relationship, because you can be like, nah, I ain't dealing with this, and it just only opens you up to be with, who you should be with.
And I think so for the cheater, for the actual cheater, they need to reevaluate, why can I not articulate to my spouse what's going on with me? Like Bianca said, you don't wake up and be like, oh, it's Sunday, here's the day I'm going to cheat, right? So what was it that you weren't sharing? Because it could be a problem. Like, you may not be the issue, but you need to be able to articulate, even if it could be something like, and I've coached some couples and sometimes they're just like, my wife is amazing, or my husband is amazing, but I am really attracted to this other guy, and he's okay that I'm married and we're willing to explore this. And actually, I'm much more sexual than I thought I was before we got married. You know how many people get married and they don't even realize how important it is, how many times a week they have sex? And you marry somebody and they're not on the same page. One could say twice a month is fine, and the other needs 3 times a week. But nobody talked about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, they should be able to articulate that. So it's sucky. It's real sucky for the person who's cheated on, but also the cheater, because as you all said, it's like, man, you went kind of far. What's going on with you that you would go that far?
Yeah.
My heart goes out to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I try not to, think of relationships as the relationships are so hard. But I just truly feel like there's just somebody that's out there for everyone, who's going to get everyone, and, hopes that for me, I find somebody that kind of just knows some of the stuff in the dough, like come in the door acting right, come in the door knowing what's expected. But in that, to that point, then it's important to kind of vocalize what you want, what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like, all of those things.
I vocalize it, and I'm okay if they are not okay with it, and I respect it because they know what they need. They may be like, yeah, I don't have the capacity to give you XYZ. Like me, or some people, they need a person, they need to see their spouse daily. They need to be with them most of the time. So that's not the person. You don't marry the person who travels for work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of it is alignment. I think marriage is work in that it's intentionality. Right? You got to be intentional. Right? But I don't think it has to be like this horrible, hard thing. It's hard when you're not in alignment. And you just get married because y'all love each other. Right. Oh, God, that is not enough. What's love got to do with it? Ain't that what Tina Turner said?
Tina said it.
Love is important, but it ain't ever.
Yes, it is.
It should be the start of a thing, but it should be some conversation after that.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people try to make themselves fit into this picture.
That's
like,
good.
Oh, this house, the picket fence, the 2.5 kids, the car, the dog. And because you want that whole picture so bad, you'll make yourself fit with, somebody who isn't your fit. So if you want to be around your person all the time, and your husband or potential husband is a traveling salesperson, then maybe that ain't it,
Yeah, I think two people change over time. So it might start out as a fit, and then through the process of, growth, evolution, development, whatever, you start growing apart. But even that, I think, can be realigned if you talk about it and try.
Absolutely, it can.
To address what's changing and how the changes, could be done in a productive way.
Because most people don't change overnight. There's plenty of couples that marry at 18 or 20 years old, and who they were at 18 or 20 is somebody totally different at 35, 40. So most people don't change overnight. It's an ongoing process, and it is your job as partners to talk to each other and say, hey, these are the type of things I'm thinking about doing now, or this is how I'm feeling now, and having that open dialogue. At the bottom line, communication is the key to the whole thing. To even with this situation, with the cheating, there are so many conversations that could have been had before someone cheats. And that's what I just don't understand. If you're unhappy, or if you want to explore some other things, have that conversation. Give me the opportunity to say, hey, I'm with it, or hey, I'm not with it, before you do it. Then everybody will be much happier.
And
that's probably almost never gonna happen.
That is facts, but just spare yourself the frustration of just pissing me off.
I don't understand her rudeness. Like, Is she getting mad per his
Does she
word?
apologize? Some people feel like I apologize, that settles it. Like move
No.
on with your life. But no, it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
no. So I'm shocked. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't think she cares.
Mhm.
It literally just happened. And this is a woman we're talking about. Women are, like we just said earlier, patient, peaceful, nurturing, right? So even when we've messed up and it's known, there is a level of, you know what, let me take a step back. Be a little bit, this just happened. She's not, if she's mad when he brings it up, that sounds like she done checked out. That sounds like she on some, I don't really care how you feel. This is what it is. You know, I don't know. Which again, I don't know. It just kind of, remember, you know, he's first line of defense is to stay together. So I'm wondering, like, you know, is there some jellybackness there?
Yeah.
And is she,
What's the jelly
is he her hub son? You
back?
know, that I don't know the situation, y'all, but I'm just saying it's giving that.
It's given he doesn't have a backbone.
Yeah, he don't have a backbone. And she runs over him. That's because this ain't the first time she done did something that I'm sure has upset him or hurt him or negatively affected him. And she's like, whatever. You know, I don't know. Is it a situation where she's making a lot more money? Is she, you know, a high society or somebody of status that he doesn't want to let go of? It's just not making sense to me. I need more details.
Yeah.
You gotta give it that. A man wrote it. It was the shortest one, so I know they like the.
It's always so short with men. Yeah, they do. They like, look, we finna give you these facts and do whatever you need to do with the facts. Yeah, so I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I keep bringing this up because this stuck with me, but back to Bianca's point in regards to like communication and if women just tell it. I know I've also heard the opposing end from men, like, well, I know y'all feel like as women, if we just tell y'all, then that, you know, y'all would be more understanding about the situation. And there was this pastor, and he was doing an interview with his wife, and they asked him, like, you know, what has kept you guys together? And he said, the fact that we have been able to have, you know, have communication. It wasn't cheating in his situation. It was, he was addicted to porn. And he was just honest, like, you know, hey, I'm having the urge to start back up this addiction. And he said what he was most appreciative about was that she didn't judge him. You know, she said she gave him all the reasons why he shouldn't, you know, do it. But I think that people should start being, have communication, have enough respect for me that I can take what it is that you're going to say.
Exactly.
Because if I love you enough to go through the ups and the downs, you know, because I might have something that I need to share, you know, with you, and I want to know that you have my back. So I think that men should stop thinking that women can't take, you know, cheating or whatever the situation is that you might feel
honestly
like not happy with.
Yeah, I think that it comes down to that respect. What she said, Shelly, is I could take a truth better than I could take a lie, even if it's a hard truth.
Yeah.
If you come to me and say, this is how I'm feeling, I could digest that better than finding something out and realizing the past 6 months have been a total lie.
Right.
Like I it's because now I feel like you don't respect me enough to have that conversation. And you don't respect me enough not to do this thing, because now I don't know who have seen you and walking around talking about me behind my back. Not that I care necessarily that everybody's talking, but it's like now you got me looking stupid. Like, talk to me first. Let me be in on it before something happens, so I know what avenue we need to take. Is it something we need to fix, or if it's something that you need to go out and do, and we separate and go about our different ways. But that communication, that respect has to be at the forefront of anything. And also I feel like when guys say, well, if I tell you the truth, you're gonna get mad. It's like, Well, that doesn't negate my feelings. Like, just because you tell me the truth doesn't mean that I don't have the right to have a feeling about the truth. It's that, respect me enough to tell me what it is so I can process.
Yeah. What Deanna and Kim, what do you guys think about that? Have you heard men say that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I did. And this is what they do. Y'all women want the truth until we give it to y'all.
Mm.
Do you want it or not? And I answered this question on Facebook actually, and I said that we want the truth so that we can make an appropriate judgment. Yeah. That's why we want the truth. We don't want the truth to whoop you or to say it's okay. No. This is like, give me the option to make an appropriate judgment. Right? So when you give me this bad truth, you should not expect that I'm like, you know what? You disrespected me, but because you told me the truth, it's okay. It's okay. Like, no, that's not how it works. But with adults, we say, hey, let me share this with you because I know this affects you. So I'm giving you the truth. And then I get to decide what I want to do with that truth. Yeah. And depending on what it is,
the truth, yes. Give me the truth before the action, because that's okay too. Like, tell me what you are intending to do.
Usually do that.
That's gonna save you time, me time, the other person time that you cheating on with. Because guess what? No, it may not be a situation where I might say, oh, you cheated, or you're going to cheat. That's okay with me. But now I can then say, oh, you're cheating on me and it's not okay with me. Now let me leave. Guess what? You ain't gotta argue with me. We ain't gotta your clothes ain't gotta be bleached. Not that I would
none of that. Peaceful. It could be just as peaceful.
Yeah, you can cheat in peace.
I think the problem is they want their cake and eat it too, as the saying goes. They don't want you to exercise your option to say no, that's not okay. Therefore, they don't want to give you the option to say it's not okay, and they know that it would be upsetting. Like, logically, they'd be like, yeah, who would be okay with this if this isn't, if we didn't establish this as a non-monogamous relationship and now want to change the rules, most people are not going to be like, oh, okay, well, thanks for, telling me that's what you want, and, let's do it. It's probably going to be met with opposition. Therefore, to avoid the opposition, male or female, they're not necessarily going to, communicate that, because they already have a pretty good idea that it's not going to be met with, oh yeah, okay, let's do that.
Here's the tea.
Not to say that it's selfish to not give people the option, but I think that's why people don't, and some people are not effective communicators to say, what's bothering them and all that. But like, when they know it's something that you don't agree with, to avoid you saying no, they probably just not going to address it, until they have to.
Here's the tea. If you're going to do something that the other person isn't going to agree with, why do it? Boom. Mic drop.
Yeah, I mean,
why do selfish?
It's immature.
Why do it?
It's selfish and it's immaturity.
Yes, very much.
Marriage and relationships, even with friends, but we're talking about relationships, love relationships, it's for grown folks. It is not for kids.
Yeah.
Or the immature. A mature mind says, yeah, I am going to be met with opposition, but I did this. I made a choice. I've had to have conversations where I'm like, yeah, I did that. This is not going to be good. He may not talk to me again. And in some cases, they didn't. They was like, yeah, I'm done. I had to eat that. But I can take accountability for what I did. Right. So it's like, do you want to be a child or do you want to be an adult?
Yeah.
It's real easy to be a kid. Like, I get it, right? But you're going to lose every time, because the information is going to come out and it's going to be much worse if you just had thought about it. And like you said, Bianca, just don't do it.
Right.
Because that's another thing adults do. Oh, this is going to be bad if I do this. This is going to affect all these other things. I'm going to stay away from that. That's not that important. That's adulting. You know what I mean? But, it ain't for the weak.
It is not.
Yeah.
Honest or for the children. So, yeah. watch the signs in the beginning. If he's acting or she's acting like a child, you're gonna get child's-like results from those.
In the beginning, in the middle, and the end, wherever it goes.
Absolutely. So this is fun. Thank you for coming back. We have to have you back again. I think this is all helpful. I think you would be lying if you can't say that you've been in similar situations, or you could pull something out, or been on the opposing side and didn't know what to do. So it's always good to ask for advice. It's always good to inquire. Hopefully most people are inquiring before they make the actionable move, but I know we don't live in a perfect world where sometimes it happens afterwards. So I say be honest with people, be forthcoming with everything, because don't waste anybody's time out here.
And be honest with yourself. That you got to start there. Being honest with yourself.
Absolutely. I think you've said that last time, and I've caught a couple of your videos where you've said that as well. Like, you have, as a person, you have to take accountability, even if you're the non-doer. Because then you make the decision from that point, to me, in a sense, if that person may continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. I agree.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, for having me. I had a blast. I always
can't wait
to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming back and joining us. It's always a good time.
Yes,
it is. And I'll be seeing y'all soon at y'all.
Yes.
We cannot walk in the door. We might have to have a latte letter session while you sit.
Now, that would be dope.
Yes.
I'm down. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
That is.
Yeah. So we will see you soon.
I was thinking like maybe we should put a box in the shop where people could drop their latte letters in if they want.
Yeah, that's a good
y'all making a movement.
For sure.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Before you go, leave everybody with your social media and anything that you have coming up and all of that good stuff.
Okay. Instagram is Kim Perdue Official, and I'm on Facebook as Kimberly Perdue, and my website is kimperdue.com. And I don't have any special things coming up. I'm just speaking and taking clients. So yeah, you can reach me at any of those places and we'll get you booked.
Perfect.
All right.
And Kim, your videos are definitely something that I tuned into. It's a whole
Thank you.
You always got some beautiful scenery or some beautiful outfits on. So I'm like, I gotta see what Kim's talking about. Let me just click on it. So definitely we're gonna post your social media, and definitely follow Kim on all social media. And if you are looking for advice, she is definitely one to come to. So thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you so much.
Till we meet again.
Yep, I'll see you all soon.
See you soon, Kim.
Good night, Kim.
Child, them lettuce was hot.
Hot.
Yes. Oh, people are always faced with something. And like I said, it's always good to like go to somebody and ask for help, because I think people always have an idea of what they know is not right and what they don't want to be in anymore. But, sometimes you need your sister friend to be like, girl, leave, or here's what I would do, or, call you out if you are wrong.
Yeah.
I think sometimes too, maybe in writing the letter or hearing somebody say it out loud, like when they hear the words out of someone else's mouth, that should be enough. So not necessarily that they even need that person to chime in and give their advice, but just hearing the words out of your own mouth or hearing somebody else regurgitate what you just wrote might be enough to say, yeah, I'm tripping, or this isn't the right situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people know what needs to be done, but they just are too afraid to do it or want to hear that validation to, help them make that decision. And sometimes people will get all the validation they need to do the thing that they know they need to do, will be like, well, what about this one little piece that I should just hold on to? And it's like, you hold on to a thread, sir.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, it's always good to have Kim on the show. We of course will always have her back. I'm gonna ask her to come back to lend her advice. I think she is very good on self-reflecting
And that
and
awareness that
yes,
she brings. So.
yes, absolutely. So we must do this again very, very soon, Kim. So we'll reach out to her, and you guys make sure that you follow her on all of her social media. And yeah, we'll be back. Anything we want to leave the audience with? Make sure we let
Make
them
sure
know.
you like, comment, subscribe, and share.
And share.
Also, check us out, 835 North Michigan Avenue, the Water Tower Place, 7th floor. We're right around the corner from the elevator, next to Bath and Body Works, across from Garrett's Popcorn. So go get your popcorn. Your throat is dry. You need something to drink. Come see Cafe Coco Latte. Get your coffee. Get your sweet tea, your Georgia peach sweet tea. Get your hot tea, get your water, get your butter cakes to take home and eat later. When you got your socks off and you rubbing your feet together on the couch.
Oh, baby.
Come get it. We got it. So we're Friday, Saturday, 11 to 8, Sunday, 12 to 6.
Yes, girl. Sell it.
And that's always imparting. Keep it
Keep
brewing.
it brewing.
See you guys soon.